name's Kenneth Bird. My company is IOEG Technology Screens. I want to build something cool for my desk. I want to put in a small 80s style arcade. I'm building a bigger one over there for a PC build, but this one I'm going to make for decorated art. So we are going to start the blueprints on one, and we're still working on the water mill over there. We're doing detail work today on that while we're waiting for our screens to come in so we can put our screens in. Because we have this wraparound 235.1 set up. I'm definitely going to be putting in to get that ball rolling. Let me see what we're doing right here. What is going on with the Fire Stick? Get his cartoon set up. Okay, he's set up. All right, so first thing we're going to do is start drawing our blueprints on how we want to build our store. It's not going to be a big one. It's going to be a little small one we can put on the desk. So I definitely want to build it like I did the other one. I want to put a nice sign up top right there. Actually a nice billboard. I think I'm going to slant my billboard a little bit. So that's the billboard. And we're going to start off with the front of the store here. And of course we want a large storefront window here. And we want our door to be there. And probably some sign here explaining what this store is. And make a little awning here. I definitely want to put an awning here. Put an awning. I know my handwriting is crazy. My drawing is even crazier. Alright, so we're going to put an awning here. It's going to be an awning here. And we have our door here. Nice big window right here for showcasing everything. And we're going to put miniature arcade machines in there. So instead of building those, we're going to put miniature arcade machines in there. They're pretty cheap. They're like these candy dispensers. And there's our sign right here. And then here we have our roof here. This is our roof, the whole box area here. Now, getting the sides of the unit. I definitely want to put a billboard out there. Another billboard here. Let's see that. Put another billboard there. Right there. I'm going to put some lights across that so that glows real nicely. And a billboard there. Excuse me, people. Let's see. Probably air conditioned exhaust system here. Right there with a duct system up there. Because then we're going to have the roof area. And the roof area, we are definitely going to need some kind of, right here, like an exhaust system. Giant system up here for basically air conditioning. That'll go back over to that area right there. That'll connect right back over here. And then I got to go look at some blueprint pictures of what the top of a building looks like, so we can get all that built and start to put all that together. That's all going to be built by cardboard. This is our top part of the roof. This is the side of the building right here. This is our front right here. This is a giant billboard we're going to make on a slight slant right here. We'll build a billboard right here. And then here at this palm, this is going to be the back of the building. Which we're going to have, I want to do a trash dumpster, but I want to keep it like a little bit more retro. So we're going to put a couple of trash cans. We're going to build ourselves 2 trash cans out there. And I'll get like a miniature stray cat, put her up there. Well, actually, she's not a stray cat. She belongs to the store. We don't want the stray cats. She belongs to the store. So a couple of trash cans right there. And then we're definitely going to need some lighting back there. Lighting in the back of our store. Definitely going to need that. Let me see. We got That's top. This is back. And you still need either side for this one. There's some lighting back there for her right there. Got to look at some artwork to see how the back looks like on the back of a store. So we need that right there. This is going to be our other side right here. Okay, so I want to be able to put my arcade machines on both sides. So we're definitely going to do a sign right here, a couple of signs here, and one sign here, like little advertisements here and here on this wall. This is an advertisement wall, and of course we're going to put a light here for our advertising wall there. So we have an advertising wall. We're going to be printing all that out on the printer, different retro advertisements and stuff like that. And then on the back, we're going to have our trash cans. I got to have something to make it look more like in the back, so I got to look at that, some store backs on that one to get that look more realistic. And in our storefront, we're going to have the name of the store. The awning's going to be made out of fabric. A nice window showpiece. Inside, we're going to have arcade machines. So I am going to put arcade machines inside. And the arcade machines, I saw these little tiny arcade machines. You can buy them. They're like Pez dispensers. We're going to use those, recode them, repaint them, redesign them, put them inside, line them up here, line them up there. And then we're going to basically put in the carpet, that retro carpet. They got it on eBay. You can buy that stuff on eBay for arcades. The retro carpet and ceilings and all that stuff and posters all over the place in there. So we're making a nice little retro build. And it's not going to be that big. It's going to be probably the size, I say roughly, of probably half a shoebox. So it's not going to be that big. But we can start building this one today, because this is a small build. I can put that together the same time I'm building that. A water mill, which is called a water mill. I had to go online to figure out what it was called. One's a windmill, one's a water mill. That's a water mill we're building. So the water mill pretty much is practically just needs some trim work and some other stuff we have to do to it, so we can build these both at the same time. So I want to do these smaller little retro builds, these tiny ones like the house we got of the cottage. Those are smaller builds. I want to do those. Those are going to be something that I can set on top of my desk. So I can put a nice little scenery around it. And those I can put on, they're going to light up, have lights inside, they're going to glow with neon, the whole 9 yards. So this is my little arcade retro build right there. There you go. So that one's already done. I just got to get the material and build it, which isn't hard to do. Have that done no time at all. The smaller builds are easy. Except for that thing over there, because that was very, very detailed. But yeah, this is going to be pretty nice. We get some fake miniature pigeons and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty cool. Got a couple I'm going to be building pretty soon. These little miniature setups for my desk. And they light up, they glow in the dark, the whole 9 yards. And we can print out our 80s style artwork and everything, our posters and everything right from the door. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that one right there. I know how I want to put my billboard in on my signs. I gotta go look at a couple of billboards too. I can go around at the retro billboards and stuff and put all that together. I'm gonna do that one. Oh, and we're gonna do a movie theater. I definitely want to do a movie theater with a screen, because we can put a movie theater and we can put our flex technology in. I can take a small surface of plastic coated with that flex and turn that into a movie screen for our little theater movie. Oh, that'd be so cool. I can sit back and watch all the little seats pushing down this way and have the little aisle with the stage and have our screen with the curtains up there, and I can watch movies off of that. Oh, we're definitely doing that. That'd be hot. Oh, let's get another drawing. Another piece of paper. Let's draw blueprints for our movie theater. We're definitely going to do a movie theater too. Might as well. We have the technology, right? Alright, so pretty easy. We want to build it on a slant, of course. So it's going to be built more like this, on a slant. This is how the base is going to be. It's going to have to come here and here on the base. So we'll have the seating starting from here, 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 here. It has to drop as we go down. We don't want too many seats. I want a lot in there. And of course, this is the walkway area right here. So this would be the stage here. Of course, we can put the AdTech technology right there. And then building a scaffold in the back here. We run from here to here. We can use some red velvet to make them like curtains here. And roughly about here. And then we'll have a panel here to cover all that up. There. And of course, we'll make our stage look kind of fancy and some designs and stuff all over it. I can buy that stuff right from we can print all that up. All that stuff can be printed up on the printer. All the designs and everything, even the individual chairs, we do that very easily. Now, here for our whole section here, which we'll have the stage here. So get a stage. Well, stage will be more like this way, a little wider. That'll be a stage. We can have an exit here and an exit there. And then we have our screen here, of course. And then we have sitting here on this side and sitting on this side, which will be closer together, but you get the idea what we're working here for. All right, so this is seats. And right here we have the aisle, which comes from here, back up to here, back up to here, back up to here, exit there, and then I have my screen here. Oh man, this is gonna be hot. And I can use the LED lights for the trays, LED lights for this right here, the aisle. We'll get some red carpet. Red carpet for here. And then we want that red crush velvet there, right there. And then we're going to be using our right here for our screen. We're going to be using our SFEG. We don't need a big screen, a little small one like this one. That's all we need about that size for that. As for my projector, well, I'm going to get me another projector. I'm in the process of buying the Cumi. So that projector is going to sit behind that on a nice little stand, like so. So we can have that sitting right back here to shoot an image to the rear part of that technology, so I can watch my movies on my little theater setup. That is going to be awesome. The reason why we have to use the Cumis, because the Cumis have that mirror mode. It allows you to reverse the image. The smaller projectors, which I was explaining about Pico projectors, not all Pico projectors have that option. They really don't. Only certain Pico projectors have the option to be able to operate exactly like a full-size projector. Some don't have that reverse on it, so you can't watch them in rear. It'll come up in mirror mode. Only certain ones have that ability. And before you go and buy a Pico projector that you're going to use for rear projection, you really have. It doesn't explain it. It doesn't say. It never says whether or not it has that capability. But we do know that the Cumis have them. I don't know about the rest of them, but I know from the ones I've seen so far, the portable projectors, my Maxsonic doesn't have that capability, but the Cumis have them. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using, that Cumi. And that projector is only $40. So that's going to be my movie setting. Now I'm going to hook it up. Should we do a concession stand? Should we father it and put a concession stand? We might have a piece with connect to it, which will be a concession stand. But this is going to be my little movie theater area, my little mini movie theater area we're going to design. So this is going to be pretty cool. We can design our own exercise. That's very easy to do. Exercise, a little bit of plastic paper in red. Put this behind this and cut in your exercise. I got to get these little sharp razor knives. They're used for basically doing precision cuts when you're doing this kind of work. So I've actually ordered a professional pair for myself, so I can make my little signs and stuff and put my paper behind the back of it, throw a little lead behind it, and boom, that's it. Yep, we're gonna have our little exercise here, 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 and here. Seating here, seating here. We got the walkway that starts from here, walk from here. That's gonna be all red. That's gonna be red carpet here. We're gonna put a little trace of LED lights in here, in here. We're gonna have a huge base in the front, which is going to be our stage, and then we're gonna have our use a background build to put the screen in, and then put that crushed velvet in there. I built a couple of movie theater screens in my days. I have, yes I have. So we have mini theater. And I can do demonstrations off this, showing off our technology. It's good, you know why? Because it's a blueprint. We actually built a model replica blueprint of a theater. If someone wants to do a dedicated theater and setup, they can get an idea of what this is going to look like by building little models of everything. That's going to be doing next. I'm going to be doing a storefront model and using the ad tech to put a projector in there to give people an idea what this is going to look like. Isn't it cool how God incorporates our builds into everything? Isn't that cool? Our simple cardboard builds, now we can build our own models now to advertise our technology on a whole nother level. That's what architects do. Architects build a structure design of the building to give the person who's invested the money an idea how this is going to look. So since the Lord gave us the ability to build with structure with cardboard, we can build our own models to show how this technology is going to look. See, God's amazing. You know, everything we do, it involves a perfect plan. It does. So that's why I tell people at the end of the day, before you open your mouth and start running your mouth about things you do not understand, and getting involved in someone else's blessings. Stop doing that, man. You curse yourself. I don't know what the intentions of what God has for us. I don't even know what the intentions. We just started doing these builds because we need it for an invisible technology that we're working on. And then I'm thinking at the end of the day, as I'm putting that together right now, I'm thinking, wow, we can use this to build a makeshift storefront to put the screen in to give a person a more understanding of how it's going to look. Yeah, I can even take that outside and do that demonstration. So I can literally build me a screen that looks like a storefront with the window and everything and take it outside. So instead of me renting some store out, I can actually build that store and take it outside and do the demonstration. See how amazing God is? God, Jesus is incredible. All right, so I'm going to have to add in their mini arcade now. Not mini, a movie theater. And then we're going to do a storefront too. I need to do a storefront to show off a demonstration outside with it too on top of that. All right. That's pretty easy to do. I'm going to blueprint this thing. Might as well. It's in your head, right? It's in my head. You got to draw everything out that's in my head. Pretty easy to do. Storefront. Modernized with a great big huge window here. I have to make the window the same size we will have at 4 feet. That's our sample too. Let's see. Oh, don't sing that song. Please don't sing that song. Anyway, all right. Now the storefront window is going to be about this size. This is our samples. Our samples are going to be about this size. So you can check it out, the technology for yourself, how advanced it is. But yeah, it's going to be like this. So, we're going to have to make a storefront screen around this right here, which ain't hard to do. So just imagine, so that's that, but except for it's coming right here instead. So we just put our window here, of course, because the windows now are not even, the windows back in the day were like a 4.3 kind of design. Now they look like they're 235.1. So that's a window right there. A little modern door right here. There's basic out there. This door here. There. And pretty much the same thing. It's an easy, basic design. Sit. So projector's going to sit back here inside the store, and it's going to hit the glass here as it's supposed to and pop that image up right there with no problem. Now we can show them from the door from experience that we can use ultra short throws here, which basically at the end of the day will produce an image right close to the screen without having any lamp glare. You can use that on crystal clear surfaces, but for your darker surfaces you can use anything you want, because the only thing that'll penetrate is just the image itself and not the glare. Also too, if you're using glare, you're using a clear version like that, you can use a projector with a lens shift capability, because the light will travel here but the image will be pushed down here. That's why I said you have to know visible technology. Not only do you have to know about visible technology, but the physical effects of the projectors that are going to react to that screen. So if, say, a customer says they want a screen that if a customer is here, they can still see the image here, you're going to have to make sure your image can pull that surface. Not only can it pull that surface, it has to do it outside. So when I see people doing demonstrations constantly inside all the time with their rear projection setups, yeah, that's not going to work, because it's still going to penetrate outside. That light's still going to make contact with the screen. So that's why you never see them turn to the side when they do their demonstrations. Another thing too is when you have a screen that's also too crystal clear and you see somebody with a projector way in the background, you will notice that they slant the camera angle just a little bit. That's because the lamp glare won't pull. That's why. You can't see the lamp glare pushing through. It won't show. We got to do that demonstration. I'm going to do a demonstration and show you how we do it at lens shift, how we drop the image down and the light just goes this way. But when the minute you put it in, we have an eco, that pretty much dies out. But you see it right down here. The image is here and the lamp is up here. That's how they do it from the windows. They do a long throw. But say you ain't got the room for a long throw, then they bring in an ultra short throw to do it, because an ultra short throw, once it bounces back to the mirror, actually cancels out the glare. Or if you have our technology, you can darken the screen where actually it cancels out everything and just only the image pushes through. Who are we talking about putting a fashion show in the window? Oh yeah, that's them. I got to contact them. Yeah, I forgot about them. These are people that are ordering ad tech when it comes out. They want to put a fashion show through their window. Yeah, consider you sitting there paying money for mannequins, which are very expensive, and then you have to sit up there and select what clothing out of your massive category, what's going to show. You know, not everything, you can't put everything out there. But with this window technology we're engineering over here, you can put your entire inventory through a window. Everything. And if you want to put those special effects, and if you use mapping capabilities, you can literally map around your edges of your window. You can make it snow, you can make it rain, you can do whatever you want. So you're having a holiday sale, you can have fireworks come through your window, you can make it Christmas time, you can have Santa running across your window. So you're taking that snow and spraying it all over your window, and then you got to go through the freaking headache of removing it off your window every single year. This you can project actual snow onto your windows. Whatever you want. Like right now, we have a couple major Halloween chains that are interested in ad tech. You know why? Because they can ghost their windows. They can literally have ghosts moving through their windows. Another company, a few big companies are actually interested. Any form of company that sells exotic fish, because we did this already. We can literally turn your windows into a fish tank. You know how hot that is? On top of that, we can turn your floor into koi fish, whatever you want. We kind of especially with fish, with ceilings, all that stuff. We can have people walking in, the entire floor can move. And since we're using new interactive technology, that means if you step on the floor, the fish move, it causes puddles on the floor. Now, you imagine what that's going to do for your aquarium shop. Instead of you having this decal sticker of this tortoise or tortoise on the side, a turtle on the side, or a bunch of fish and some kind of, what do you call it, coral reef. That never does anything. It doesn't move. It's the same image day after day after day after day. And keep in mind, when you're done and you decide to move out of this store or upgrade, your investment's down the drain because you can't take it with you. Because you're going to have to power wash and use some kind of solution to scrape that off a store. Where our technology in the day, you can take it with you anywhere you go, even your own home. I told you that's why ad tech's worth millions of dollars. So I've seen a bunch of these aquarium stores all around town. I've been mapping out. I got a map of Allentown of all the different stores down here that we can basically use this technology for. There's another store that sells retro games. We can literally turn the window into Pac-Man, a playable video game off glass. If they can sit inside and they can game off the window through glass with our technology and no expensive projectors required. See? There you go. Yeah, see the big picture of ad tech and what it does. Let me see. Yeah, okay, we're going to build this and take this outside. So instead of us putting it against a store, we're going to build the store and take it anywhere we want. Isn't that pretty cool? Awesome. There's a couple of stores down here. Somebody has a dance studio down there. Do you have any idea what we could do to a window in a dance studio? Are you kidding me? We can have people doing dances from anything they want to do. Like, you can't say, okay, we do these different types of dances. We do it. But now you can have actual people on your window doing those dances. And you can set the mood in the environment for each application. There you go. So now you have the power to take your commercial, your ideas, and your dreams and put it right through your glass. That's the power of ad tech. Whew. Man. I love this technology. I love it so much. Wow. Let me see. I'm going to put this ad tech. Now, we know we got so many people out there. We got that. You don't got jack. You don't have anything. Nothing at all. Because you'd have to have, and if you had ad tech, you would be outside as much as I would have been outside doing demonstrations showing that you don't have it. You can't even barely make it in the own environment you're in right now. It's dark enough in there as it is. You know how funny that is? That people who do demonstrations on screen paints today are in these ambient light dark environments, and we're sitting up there with a 6K Halo system and an eco mode $50 projector pushing through a screen, or outside running around with a projector at 50 to 300 lumens, and you can't get 3,000 lumens of running your environment. You know how embarrassing that is? So keep in mind, I'm going to give you a scale on how powerful ad tech is. The very window light that washes out your screens, we play out there. So mind you, inside, you're at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Even if you're even at 1,000 lumens, you're still nowhere near what we're doing. So you can barely make it in that environment with those windows open at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, which will destroy your screen. And meanwhile, we're in your backyard watching a movie at 300 lumens when you're inside at 3,000 and can't run. And we're at a distance throw, because those aren't ultra short throw projectors. They have a long throw attached to them. You're at a foot from your screen and you still can't read. That's how powerful AdTech is. That's how AdTech can easily put a company out. You would never be able to reach that plateau yet. You can't even conquer basic light. So the reason why we know y'all are so far behind is because you can't even conquer basic light. We can push an image off a ceiling with the lights on. You can't do that. I can walk through any form of environment, commercial, and operate on projectors under 200 lumens. I did it in here for a year at 24,000 with Halo systems and screens. You can't do that. You haven't even conquered this stage yet. So how are you going to keep up with AdTech? You can't keep up with AdTech. AdTech is designed to replace everything. TVs, all that stuff is designed to replace everything. And it has so many multiple applications. A person who buys an LCD monitor is going to cost them $100,000, and AdTech at 150 inches can operate not only inside but outside the store. It can be submerged under water and turned into fish tanks. It can do whatever it wants to do at the end of the day. It can go to tailgate parties. You're not doing that with an LCD. That's too expensive model. And if it rains out there, hopefully that thing is waterproof. And if it is, that's going to be a very expensive screen. AdTech will cost way less than an LED. LCD, yes. Way less. So now they have to deal with us too on top of that. The idea of designing that technology was not only to be able to conquer every screen paint on the market, but not only conquer the certifieds and take out TVs all at the same time. And if you've seen the demonstrations with that stuff over there, we did the demonstration with the monitor right next to our QME projector. We're able to match the monitor where Grayscreen can't read it. And the Grayscreen is supposed to be an upgrade version for screen paints, and it's not. So there you go. So future, people, got to build for the future. My customers are excited. They can't wait. They're finally going to be to break free of all that nonsense of being afraid of the light coming through the window. Our technology can absorb. This stuff can absorb pretty well, but not actual sunlight. So now, when you sit on your deck, and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you've got a screen up there, you can watch the game. You don't have to have any awnings, nothing at all, period. Not even needed. All those stores and sports bars we have up here, we have those white screens outside. They can't operate those things until it's late at night. You can watch a game. You can have a game running all day on your system. Music videos, whatever you want. Because of that technology. And the problem with the screens today, y'all got lazy. Y'all stayed on the wall. Wallflowers. Ah, that's a good one. Wallflowers. Don't be on the wall like a wallflower. I got a commercial for that one. Y'all stayed on the wall and you got lazy. You basically advise the customer, you force dark environments, force calibrating, expensive projectors that you order them to buy and go buy, because it's the only way it's going to, the best way to utilize your viewing pleasure and whatever nonsense you tell them at the end of the day. And the customer ends up with this really expensive projector and still has poor quality at the end of the day. And that's messed up. But anyway, you didn't do anything. You didn't try to evolve to something better. You just stayed with the same tradition because it's easy money. So anyone coming on YouTube that's making a screen paint is going to stick to that tradition. All right, you're going to be in the dark anyway, so I don't like to do much. I mean, you're not going to have the lights on, so what I got to worry about trying to test or improve this thing. And I'm probably going to advise them to buy a high-end 4K expensive projector, which you're going to need, you know, because that's the thing now, you know, having to spend more money. So that'll fix any problems I have on the screen. Yeah, that's crazy. Now you got a bigger problem. You got us. Because now you got to deal with us at the end of the day. We don't do those traditional nonsense at the end of the day. You're going to advise your customer to spend $3,000 for a projector. I'm going to get my customer a projector for under $200. You're going to tell your customer they got to be stuck in a dark, ambient, light controlled environment. My customers, I can tell them they can have all your lights on if you want. You can even open up a window. You can have no problem with it whatsoever. They got options at the end of the day. You're going to tell your customers, because the screen watches out, the only excuse you have is you're going to have to calibrate. We tell our projectors, we don't calibrate jack. We don't even calibrate our own stuff. Yeah, whatever. They don't have to do any of that stuff. There you go. It costs your customers too much money. And then you're going to tell them they're going to have to be in an ambient light controlled environment. Why? Because Your contrast levels can't pull. They come up gray, ashy. Our customers don't even have to spend the money for an expensive projector for high rating contrast because their screen is contrast itself. I even have shifting technology. You remember that stuff? Yeah, we have shifting technology. We got a screen that we can make a light gray, blue, green, whatever color, and it'll shift that contrast level so dark that when you sit it next to it, side by side to the screen, you can't tell one from the other. Did you forget about the shifting technology? Yeah, well, that shifting technology we kind of gave you a peek at. They're Omegas, which means the Omegas are a different type of screen. It's invisible shifting technology. Yeah, be afraid. Be extremely afraid. You guys are not in our category. You're so far behind. I watch your videos every single day. You're so far behind. Consider to our world at the end of the day, you're dinosaurs. You're about to become extinct soon. What are you gonna do? Take my company to court? Yeah, you can't do that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. At the end of the day, the bigger dogs are the ones that stay up top. Unfortunately, with our technology, we will be the only dog. And anybody wants to challenge AdTech, let me know. I'll take you outside at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and watch it disappear. Just like we did his paint at the end of the day. Took his paint outside and put it on a 50 lumen projector, and we pulled right through the screen. His screen paint didn't even show up. Wasn't there, wasn't at the party. Got the invite. It got the invite. It just didn't show. But it got the invite. I like challenging the companies. I do. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. Because again, at the end of the day, I like challenge. That's what I like. Now, as for customers see those demonstrations and what's going through their mind, and they couldn't care less about a challenge. They're like, oh crap, I can go outside with a projection screen? I can have my windows open? You see my customers' demonstrations, right? I told you, my customer demonstrations are better than people who sell products. They love that. You see my church testimony? It's been on my account for years. That's a 7,000 lumen projector. So for people to make those statements, remember, at the end of the day, we have a church that loved their product. Overseas, they did a video testimony to my company. It's right there on my site when you come in. My screen, the screen they're using is huge. See the lights that got wrapped around that thing? 7,000. Couldn't even read on a white screen. And the minute our technology hit it, boom, popped up. But you got people crying on their channel talking about, oh, yeah, at the end of the day, when we see people like that, that's because you're jealous. That's why. You're jealous because my product is far better than yours. And since you can't make it, design it, or anything whatsoever, the one thing you try to do is let's spread bad rumors about it. But I told you what'll happen to you, right? We got a few people going to be using it as an example at the end of the year. And we will be building a website. I'm kind of figuring out what we're going to call the website. It's something justice. I'm going to call it something. But basically, anyone we take to court, there is a transcript of everything that happens in that courtroom. We're going to post it for the public to read through to show what we do to people at the end of the day that violate our technology. And there's going to be brutal statements. You're going to see people in there crying in court, people begging in court. Mind you, when you're in that courtroom doing all that stuff, everything in that courtroom is recorded and documented. So if you pee yourself in that courtroom, if you cry in that courtroom, whatever, it's documented. And it'll be posted, public domain, so everybody can read it. It'll tell how much you got sued for, how much you lost, what you did to the company. Everything will be out there. And if you got jail time, how much jail time you received, all of it's going to be there. I'm even going to have people, when they go to your property, to take stuff out of your house, because you're going to owe me money. I got to get a debt collector to go get my money. So they're going to have somebody recording all that, so all that can be posted to the site. It's a warning at the end of the day. You mess with my company, I'll mess with you at the end of the day. I'll take everything from you. And if you think, oh, you're online, and I'm going to have people in there talking on there, I'm going to have private investigators, what do they call it, private investigators, cyber investigators, explaining what they do, the type of work they do, how easy it is for them to track individuals. They give you an idea that even if you have a fake account, whatever you believe at the end of the day that's going to keep you hidden, you're going to be found. It's going to be a very educational site. There'll be lawyers on there talking about exactly your consequences, what you'll be sued for, this is what happened to you in the courtroom. All that's going to be. I think more companies should do that. More companies should do sites like this because it gives out a warning to anyone who's even thinking about it on exactly how bad things can really get. And one of the biggest things that trolls tell themselves online is that no one's going to find me. That's your biggest lie you tell yourself. Tell me it's not true. You tell yourself that no one's going to find you if you use a fake account, fake address, fake emails, fake phone numbers. No one's going to find you. I got a couple of friends of mine that said they can find you. They can track you down very easy. So if they can find you, guess what can find you too? Processor would be at your front door in no time at all. They could find you. They're going to be explaining to you how they track people down and they find them. So all that fake nonsense, they don't mean jack to those guys at the end of the day. And talking about the internet, they are the internet. That's what they do all day long. They're pretty cool. I watch them work they do at the end of the day. And yes, they got clearance for it too, because that's what they do. That's their job. They're private cyber investigators. Look it up. It's a real thing. All right, got to do my builds. And someone was saying that, oh, let's just show you. There's some of my builds right there. Woo. That's my one over there. That's one right there. That's one we're working on right now. Woo. I like this one right here. That thing comes apart in sections. Like it actually literally comes apart in sections right there. Because we have to build it that way because it's something we have to do inside of it. That's why I have to be building sections. That was like freaking headache connecting that one piece on it to get the lock in place. Yep. And people, and oh, I don't have one over here. I did have one over here. There we go. What do you see when you see this? Most people will see it and say, I see a cup of noodles, an empty container of cup of noodles. Most people see that. I see a giant mushroom home. I see mushroom home, the little tiny mice and maybe some birds and whatever. Beautiful, enchanted, giant mushroom home. That's what I see. There's the stem right there. Now you see it? There we got a little smokestack and a little fireplace in the corner. I want to make this thing open. I'm going to put a huge bay window to the side of it so you can see what's going on inside that little mushroom, what they're doing in there. Making their little teas, and they got a little fireplace burning there, little stacks of firewood. It's going to be a cool little interesting, enchanted little home when we get done with it. And all that's going to be done with just that. That's the beginning point of it. Just like when I showed you the Amazon box, that's how it's going to start. We got to build a captain ship pretty soon too. For some reason, I got this song from the Pirates of the Caribbean stuck in my head for the last couple of days. We have to build one now. But anyway, yeah, that right there is it's an enchanted mushroom. Now to get little tiny, it should be hard to get those little figures of little mice and birds and stuff like that, with little jackets and coats on. It should be hard to get. Amazon sells a lot of that stuff. So we have to build our little, a little place around these guys in the day. Hey, you know why staircases, the towers that they had basically in medieval times, why they were circle? Like this, and they had a spiral staircase that went up. It wasn't just because the unit was circle. They could have made it square if they wanted, but they made it circle, and they went the spiral staircase because, again, that's the only way to go up and down. But it was actually to ambush enemies. So the soldiers would be up top, and the enemies would have to all bunch together to get around that little spiral curve, and they could drop anything down there on top of it. Rocks, anything right on top of it, and they would basically fall into each other, causing more damage, like a bowling pin. You know, you throw a bowling pin, you hit a bunch of bowling pins, and they all get crushed in that one corner. Well, that's what that little spiral staircase was for, to compress them, to bottleneck them in that section so they can drop heavy objects down that staircase and they can cause a lot of extreme damage to them. Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah. Castle was designed for multiple purposes. Mainly, it was designed to defend itself, and that's why they had it on top of high cliffs and stuff like that. It made it very hard for you to even reach the castle. When you did reach the castle, then on top of that, you had to deal with the fact that water was waiting for you. So it's designed for basically to have a defense mechanism to defend itself. Yeah, that's what those little spiral staircases are for. Of course, they're designed that way to get up there because that's the shape of the castle, but they're designed for another thing too. So when enemies come to crowd in there, they'll be caught up in this spiral case. Imagine someone dropping a bowling ball down this staircase. What's going out? Your legs are going to go out first, and you're going to fall backwards, and you're going to cause more damage, and you're going to fall on top of everybody else, and you're going to be clustered in that little corner while they're dropping stuff on you and crushing you. You won't even have a chance to get up or get out of the way. It's impossible. It's designed to trap you, bottleneck you. Pretty cool, huh? I like medieval technology. I mean, I call it medieval technology, still technology. Someone engineered all that. Pretty cool. All right, people. With that being said, we gotta go because now we gotta come back here and we gotta bring that back in here, our water mill, back over here to do the detail work. And I'm gonna go over to my buddies over here. He's got a bunch of boxes over there. A lot of boxes. Boxes of gold, people. The gold. The gold. Let me get all those boxes. So bring them here, cut them up, stack them up nicely, put them over here, and start our builds. Someone's actually teaching art class. I don't even know about that. I do want to teach art class for kids. I do. But anyway, oh, we're going to be doing popsicle sticks. Did I say something about popsicle sticks last night? What the frick are we building with popsicle sticks? I got to go back to the video and figure out what the heck we say we're going to build a popsicle stick. And we have to build a catapult. I know that for a fact. What the frick are we... Oh! Yeah, I remember that. We're going to build an original Japanese home using rice paper and popsicle sticks. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do cardboard in there too. We have cardboard, popsicle sticks, and rice paper. With the beautiful Japanese scenery. I want the lake, the river going through, the bridge with the lights on it. I want the cherry blossoms. We can get the cherry blossoms. You can buy those cherry blossoms to get those. We're going to make something really beautiful. And I want the petals all through the area. Oh, that's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. And we're going to do a nice scenery in the background for it. We're definitely going to do that. It's going to be pretty hot. We're going to do that. Definitely going to do that. That is going to be hot. Definitely hot. Now look at, we're building our own miniature stuff now. So some cool stuff. That is going to be beautiful too on top of that. And then we can wire the speakers in too. So we can get the music to match the scenery. Ah, this is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to start building some of this stuff. We got our sleeping giant. Oh man, I was telling my friend about that. Is we going to build a giant? Like a giant sleeping giant. This is interesting. A lot of sewing involved. Yes, I love sewing. It has to be done by hand. It's drawn by hand. But you go down to Joann's Fabric. I found one down here. I can track one down. Track one at Joann's Fabrics now. We're going to take and we're going to actually build the sculpture of the head and the body and all that. We use that as we make puppets. Same kind of thing, but a little bit different. We use pipe cleaners, and they got these styrofoam balls that you can connect together in different shapes and stuff. And they got baby doll hands and all that stuff. Yeah, Joann's got a lot of crazy stuff in there to build stuff and make your own puppets and stuff. We're going to make our own giant, and we're going to sew the clothing and everything, design it for it. So it fits the little clothing and everything. And go so the little baggy here, and it fits around the legs and the boots and all that. And we're going to put it into the side of a countryside, like a sleeping giant. His name is George the Giant. That's what he is. And George the Giant is very, very friendly. So we're going to build George's world and explain the story about George. I'm going to have passerbys walking by George to see the size of how big George's foot is compared to the passerbys, the stagecoaches that are going past George. George is quite a big giant. And the ogres in the background, they're terrified of George. George doesn't like ogres at all. And ogres are terrified of George. Now, we can go with George being an old man. That'd be nice. Or we can go with George being a kid. George is a kid giant. That'd be interesting too. So we haven't decided the age of George yet. If he's a kid, it's going to be like thousands and thousands. Because you know giants have been for centuries. You know what I mean? So we have to figure out what George is going to be. I want something interesting. If we do an old man, I want him to have a large bottle of liquor in his hand. He's drinking. He's relaxing. And if it's a kid, I want a child's toy that they played at that particular time to be huge. That'd be cool too. We gotta decide on that yet. Now, the pirate ships we're going to build, we're building two versions of pirate ships. One is actually under the ocean. One is already sunk, and you can see the guys are skeletons and stuff. They're playing cards and they're drinking and everything. They're in their spiritual world under the ocean. And then the other one is going to be above sea level, which is going to be in a cove, sitting there while the captain's trying to figure out where the Barry is treasure. So that's going to be interesting too. It's going to involve sand. Sand is already embedded in the surface. It can't go to the surface. So we're building that too. So we got some cool stuff. But we have to get busy. Let's show you some of the crazy stuff we've already built. I have people that come on and they see us build stuff from scratch, and they're always curious about the stuff that we already put together. So I like to give them an idea of what we do, because we get new people. I found some more glue sticks, by the way, but I have to go get more. But we get new people come onto the channel. We saw some new subscribers. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. This is my channel at the end of the day. I got some new subscribers. I'm getting subscribers about every day. But thank you so much. Sorry about that. I do apologize if I haven't thanked anyone for coming in and being a subscriber. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in and checking out our channel. So, what does our channel do? Just about everything you can possibly think of. We do a lot of crazy stuff in here. So, you go back and check my video archives. You'll see that we project demonstrations to floors, ceilings. We do all kinds of projector mapping applications, window advertising technology, stuff like that. We got future technology coming out in 26 and stuff like that, 27 and so forth. Much more affordable technology for everybody. We build PCs. We do PC modifications. That's what Fallout over there, which I'm still working on. We built all that out there out of cardboard, so that's pretty cool. There's Ice Boy over here we're still working on, right there. We'll tell you more about that. And there's the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. We like funs and games. Oh, I'm going to start listening after that. I'm going to go take a walk. So we show you to do all that stuff. Cool PC builds. These are all made out of wood. These are all wooden structures. So they're open PC cases, all made out of wood. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're still working on that. I had to go over and get my toilet paper dispenser. We're going to turn this into AccuPiping. And we got a nice little gauge we got for $1. It's going to look pretty cool. Got to crack that a little bit because of the cold. And then we do these cardboard builds right here. And the cardboard build started on me building these little worlds for this new invisible type of screen we're working on. And then it turned into this. So this was built in sections. This is the clock and bell tower that will actually have working bells. That's where we left it open so we can get access to the bells and stuff, an actual working clock in there. Well, that shingle job was a heck. This one's actually is bigger than this one. So I know this is going to be interesting. Should we even dare think about it, George? See right there. And they're all going to glow in the dark. They're all going to glow in the dark so that way we'll have this more kind of an interesting neon beautiful look to it. That's what I want them to do. So that's the first stage right there of the clock tower. Right there. And it was interesting because I got to get me a Lazy Susan. I'm buying one so I can turn these things around easier. So as you can see, there's a little port right there where all this plugs together, all this connects together. And there's our windows. We want to do stained glass for the windows. The crooked, we call them crooked cardboard cottages. There's the back of the fireplace. We wanted to wrap around the unit. Got a little scaffold design there. So it looks like it's connected to that. Now the windows are pretty easy. We're going to put glow-in-the-dark paint here, here, and here in these little spots. So that's going to cause it like the windows are real lit up like somebody's in there. Got a nice little medieval door here. So I got to put our handle there. And this is the other part right here. This is our where we put our clocks in. We're going to put real clocks in there, and we're going to put our bells in there. So that fits just like this. Right there, just like that. So we can take it apart. And then over here, this is where we have the main piece. We have the windows here, and we got the scaffold here, a giant great chimney right here. And that fits right there up top. Just like so. There you go. A little medieval clock tower right there. That took about a couple of days to do. That's just a build right there. So that's what that was going to turn into over there pretty soon. That's going to turn into that pretty soon. Oh, let me give you a little tour of it, the size of it. So you can see that. Yep. It all fits together and separates. So then I thought to myself, let's build a bunch of these things. I'm having so much fun putting these things together. Let's build a bunch of these. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to assemble a lot of these pretty kooky looking crooked kind of style homes. I went on YouTube, and that's where I found some of them. I found some on eBay. I'm like, wow, people build these things. It's actually a huge community that building. I actually saw cardboard arcade cabinets. I was looking for something for the arcade store we're going to build, and I saw arcade cabinets. People made arcade cabinets out of cardboard. And that's why I tell to the naysayer, you got to think outside the box, because other people are doing it all day long. They sit on there and say, oh, people don't do this and people don't do that. Larry had someone sit there and tell me that people don't put PCs on the vegetable oil. They were doing vegetable PCs before I started doing it. Late to the party. Always late to the party. You get the invite, but you're always late. Where are you at? I was trying to find a parking space. You missed the whole party. You missed the whole thing. You missed everything. You missed it all. You missed it all. So now we got our little bills here. Prepare for about this one, thank you. Now, when they are completed, they look like this. This is one that's almost done. This is the first one I started building on. Actually, not true, I built some other ones too. That's the first one right there. That's completed. Fully completed. That's better. No, we're not doing that. Let me let people check myself real quick. That shit didn't look right. That's better. Now this unit is one and done. This is the first one I built. All of those are going to have their own scenery attached to it. The reason why we haven't secured this yet, because this is supposed to have a silicone design to it. So we can make the lucky lakes below. This is the first tiny one I built. Here we are. Yeah, the lights up on the inside. So the windows are done with a glow-in-the-dark solution. So that way, that when the blue lights trigger off, it gives it a kind of a moonlit glow. We have our little moon right here. And this one is very, very detailed. Everything down to the deck. You see the individual boards on the deck. Doors cracked open. Windows, balcony, down to the staircase, or actually the stairs to our little pebble walkway, or our little path, and then it goes right here. This is our little lake right here. We have our little railings here, even down to the shingles, the chimney, everything. And then in the back, you got a nice little round Storytime moon or Storytime window right there, a little circle. And it has the sign right there for Lucky Lakes when we get ready to set all that up. Even down to the chimney. Everything is detailed. Everything on this thing glows in the dark, even the flowers. This is what they look like when they're finally done. So I got people asking me, do I want to sell them? I decided, I actually got one I'm actually building for a friend. I'm building him a castle. Castle's huge. Castle's very big. So it's going to be fun putting that thing together. But yeah, we may or may not. I don't know. I don't know about that yet. But I do know these are definitely going to be sold because I got a bunch of people that are asking for these flower PCs that we're going to be actually started building. I just started building these out of fun because I wanted my own flower PC setup, and now we're going to be building these now. So we got a business around there we're going to be working on pretty soon. I went to City Hall and I applied for another business license. So it's made so he can come here, come around there, walk down here, go to the door here. Yeah, that's what they look like when they're done. And all these flowers, all this stuff glows in the dark. I get people get angry or telling, oh, he's got another business adventure. You understand the whole thing about being blessed by God, right? You don't get that part? That's a demon in you right now, upset and angry and bitter. That's the devil talking to you. Because anytime you're jealous over somebody else's blessings, that's the devil. God ain't jealous. He ain't that type of person. He doesn't like that. The devil gets jealous. That's part of his, one of his trades. One of his personalities. Jealous, hatred, envy. Yep, that's all part of Satan. So you're letting the devil show through. But thank you for those of you who appreciate what we do. We really thank you so much. Let that right stop over. Yes, we need that here. Hooah. I'm jealous. One of the other guy, I told you, the guy who has a habit of calling himself the PC King. He got a bigger problem now because he got another guy, a bigger Apex, is on his back now because he talked too much trash and the guy don't like him. But that's between them. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But anyway, he got to talking about how builds and stuff. And I explained to you, man, you don't know how deep my rabbit hole goes in the day, man. I can build whatever I wanted in the day. And I'm actually now building, we're building our own PC cases, which you'll probably end up buying one of them. Because that case is going to be off the chain. And I got somebody already coming in. He's a big time gamer. He's going to promote it. This thing is going to be sick. So it's going to be the first PC case that's an actual screen. Screen and case at the same time. So all your little visual effects, anything you want to design, you can make the case look on fire if you want. Anything you want to do, it has that ability. Or you can watch movies through it. Do it on the side of it, doesn't really make a difference. So we're going to be building our own cases pretty soon. Isn't that pretty cool? I'm actually going to be building one, actually a prototype of one pretty soon. So while he's sitting up there talking at the end of the day about his whatever stuff, I'm building cases and, you know, modifying machines to make them look like, you know, something you've never seen before. Now I'm going to be responsible for having my own PC cases. And you're talking to a person today, if you think I don't know anything, that my knowledge doesn't precede yours, and you think you're, I don't know, you think you're, he came at me like in a way where I don't know much. The cases that you pay for, I can build those for cases at the end of the day. And all that stuff you have in your PC, I modify all that. I can rewrite your firmware. I can code your system if I wanted to. You're not on my level now. And I don't come in here thinking I'm better than everybody else, because I'm not. If I see people today that have skills way beyond mine, I appreciate everybody's work at the day. Even down to console bills, I appreciate everybody. If that joker came at us at the end of the day, like, he was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Man, sit down. Sit down with that nonsense at the end of the day. Your build you showed me some 3-monitor system setup. I build my own monitor. You see that right there, man? That's technology right there you don't even understand yet. That's an invisible technology, a screen. And not only inside, it goes where it freaking wants to go. I can go anywhere I want, anywhere in freaking Allentown with that, and this little projector, and I can operate just like that. Inside or out. Your monitors don't do that. I can submerge that thing in the water. I can play Bioshocks underwater while a projector pushes right through a tank, which ain't a bad idea. How come we haven't built that one yet? But anyway, see, that's why I gotta be careful, because I'm doing new adventure. New challenge accepted. We got a new challenge. But anyway, so I don't come out there thinking, I just show myself off. That's all I do. And we built this today, we put that together, da. And this joker come on and ranting about his build. I seen your build at the end of the day. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. My boards that I had, my system that I had, the one they had a PCD called God. They literally had the nickname God. I know it's jacked up. That's the name it gave it. It was a 2011 server board. So I had 4 12-core processors in my system. My system the other day has the RAM capability. That's only 256. At the time, at PC 3000 OC, it's at $200 or $300 a stick. And my board was maxed out. So my system would have ran circles around your system. I had to do a customized build for my liquid cooling system because I wasn't running one CPU, I was running 4 in this unit. These are server boards. They're gigalads sitting these things at the end of the day. So yeah, I built machines way beyond what you have right now. And also we had a server we built. It's a Tesla graphic card. You ever seen Tesla graphic cards before? They don't have the video outputs and all the components. They're designed for servers. I think it's 24 gigs on there. You've seen those things before? Yeah, they're 24 gigs. You got people now trying to get that Tesla graphic card because they're cheap now. They're super cheap. They're 24 gigabytes or terabytes, whatever. That's something crazy to have on it. But anyway, they're trying to get that graphic card to run, but they can't because it wasn't designed for purpose for gaming. It was never developed for that. It was designed for servers. But that setup, because you got 3 little monitors, and you consider that to be impressive, dude. I've gamed off 250 inch screens. That's not impressive. 3 monitors. We developed black technology. Technology more advanced than the OLED technology. I got screens now that are black and invisible. You can see outside, and OLED can't even do that. So, yeah. Got a nice build at all. It's nice. That's pretty much what I'm going to say about it. But all your specifications you have in there, please, anyone can buy that stuff at the end of the day. That's nothing. Can you modify all your stuff? So again, a 5090, you claim to have a 5090 in there, your case is big enough to have a 5090 in there. On top of that, consider the fact that if you're running a 5090, and most people I know who have the 5090, they break it down on what they did to it. Because there's no way in the world you're leaving it on stock fans. I would never leave a 5090 or anything in a 40 series, or anything like 30 series, matter of fact, anything, because I mod with stock fans on it. And stock fans are low, man. Yeah. These stock fans, like on my PC right now, these stock fans I got them were 1,500. These are 5,000 a piece. Well, right now we got the 2 stock fans on it now. So I'm running a lot of RPMs on this unit. But anyway, no, there's no way in the world. Look at the 5090. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that thing apart. I'm definitely getting rid of the stock fan. The thermal paste and getting cleaning all that off. But I got my own I like to put on there. I like that Arctic, so I'm using that from the door. I'm definitely going to do 5,000 RPMs. On that, I'm doing a dual setup. Even though it doesn't have the ability to clamp at the bottom, I can do a dual setup. I can put fan on top of fans. So when you put fans on top of fans, mind you, one may cancel out the other. That's why you have to have a little bit of gap in there. Causes a kind of a backdraft effect when you have them separated just a little bit. Air pushes through, then it re-pushes up here. You start off here at the bottom one at 3,000 RPMs, and this is at 5,000 RPMs. It causes a backdraft effect. Do you know anything about that? No, he does not. Then with a card that powerful, I'm definitely going to have a separate dedicated power supply for it. Definitely going to have a dedicated power supply for it. Definitely going to do that. So it's definitely going to have its own separate. So the system at least is going to run 2 power supplies for PC. One is going to be strictly dedicated for that card only. I know it's overkill, but I don't want to people like better safe than sorry. That's wear and tear on that card at the end of the day. And I'm going to liquid cool the daylights out of that thing. It's a dual fan setup. So, yeah. That would definitely I would do with a 5090. There's no way in the world I'm going to have that thing inside of a case. It'll be open case setup only. I want that thing to pull in as much air as possible. Now, once I get all my fans hooked up, I'm definitely going to put in fan speed controllers because then I can basically up my RPMs even faster. So a touchscreen control, fan speed controller. So I have on my YouTube account showing me dropping computers down to 17 Celsius without liquid cooling. In liquid cooling, under 30 Celsius at 23, 27. I got it on record. So with that being said, I think I would know what I'm talking about. Especially when I have built more stuff than you have. A lot more stuff than you have. And I'm older than you. So, he's a full glass man. Person that always goes through life full glass. Full glass people don't learn nothing at all. Not a thing. At all, period. I'm always learning something new. I gather information all day long. That's what I like to do. So I never go into a forum site full glass. I always go half because I can always learn something from somebody. Even down to a person at the end of the day who really hasn't been in the field that long, I can learn something from them. But you can't because you're full glass 24/7. So people are full glass constantly stay in a humble state. You'll constantly get embarrassed all the time. Grown man sends us some dumb nonsense. I'm working. Sends us some dumb nonsense on a wooden fan and goes, oh, look, I got him on a fan. I got him. You're a grown man at the end of the day. You got to grow up. You married at the end of the day? I hope not. I hope you're not breeding either. Because that is just downright childish. First things first, we knew it was fake. You know what? No RPMs. Every freaking fan has an RPM reading. There was none of these things. That's the first thing I'm going to look at. What's the speed of those things? There's nothing there. Yeah. On top of that, you can't make wooden fans. There's issues with that. You know what? If they're outside the case, that's pretty much a possibility. But inside the case generates heat. You know, your motherboard fluctuates in there. It slowly moves. That's what happens. Yeah, a lot of heat pushing off in your case. Even if you have liquid cooling on everything. Oh, I just saw the liquid cooling on the M2s. That's pretty hot. I got to get one of the Infinity Mirror ones. But anyway, but they don't have a liquid cooling system like actual. No, liquid cooling, they got actual, it's fan. So they got, what, 4 pins to a small, probably 20 millimeter fan sitting inside of that. The heat sink to cool it down. That's nice and all. 20 millimeter fan? No, it's not going to work for me. That's not going to work. I got to do modifications. I'm going to do a RetroPie. RetroPie has a nice little copper block. I'm going to basically modify that one. You ever seen the liquid cooling for a RetroPie? It is sick. It has a reservoir system, pumping system, and it has these 2 little pipes that drop out, and they can land right into this little pipe, this little copper block that cools down the RetroPies. So I'm looking at that like, man, all I have to do is pretty much get a fitter adapter that will connect to a full plate that will run for an M2, and I can liquid cool it with a separate dedicated system. That wouldn't be sick. That would be sick. Liquid cooling hitting that sucker would be good. There you go. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But anyway, excuse me. Now, if you came full glass, I did say excuse me, by the way. If you came half glass and said, hey man, that's a nice little build, so and so, blah, 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 you could have became friends at the end of the day. You could have been sharing information, laughing and joking, having fun, but you decided to be ignorant. So you got what you got. You got embarrassed. That's what I did. I come out there and I had to embarrass you. What did the videos I shot, anyone can buy parts. You don't come anywhere close to my builds. And with my new cases coming out, new PC cases that I'm designing, this is going to allow gamers to not only have this cool freaking case at the end of the day, they can hook up all the cool stuff, but the case itself is an actual screen. You know how crazy that's going to be? We're using my GTA case. I'm building me a GTA case. I'm building me 2 of them. One is going to be a portable I can carry around Allentown and do some gaming off of it, because it has a screen that attaches to the side of it that I can game off. And the other one's going to be a cube. We're going to actually build the world of GTA inside the PC, while the case itself is a screen. I feel like I got to be one of those. I want to do one of those commercials where they come on late at night, like, what do you got here, Ken? We've got the ultimate PC case. It's absolutely crazy. I'm so excited. What do we got here? I'm going to tell you what we got here. We got a PC case that's completely see-through. They can see all your parts and everything. But they had these already. I've seen these before. No, but mine's quite different. My case is made of a new technology that allows our customers to be able to watch movies inside or outside the case, and outside in direct sunlight at 300 lumens or 50 if you choose. That's insane! That's insane! That's insane! That's insane! The audience are like, wow! Be nodding their heads back and forth like, wow! What is it? That's incredible! Yeah, something like that. It's gonna put every piece of case of shame. Especially my buddy. He's a 3D. He has a company Well, again, I told you, he has a industrial business. He actually does that stuff. He says, man, can you do with this at the day? We could do some crazy stuff. I can print some crazy stuff for you. So we have all these different cases where designing is spray and coated with that technology. One of the cases is black. It's a jet black cube. The PC parts go in there, and we have a section. We can't share too much about it, but you can actually watch movies. Put a projector in it and watch movies outside your case. It's a sick setup, and you building it pretty soon. So yeah, for all you gamers out there, and at the end of the day, you're gonna freaking love it. And yes, there's one basically is for console. We're actually building setups for consoles too. So this is gonna be sick. You're gonna use that technology to do whatever you want to do with it. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be outrageous. I mean, freaking people are gonna love this, man. Now see, if you was a nice person at the day and you treated me with a little more respect at the day, I could have sent you a nice little NDA and I could have made you a beta tester for my company. You've been getting paid, you've been getting nice technology. At the end of the day, we supply you with projectors, but you decided to be ignorant. And now you're getting nothing from us. Don't bother buying any of our stuff. If you've received a lifetime official ban from my company, we won't sell him jack. That's why you don't disrespect people at the end of the day. You never know what they're capable of doing or what they can do for you. Treat everybody with respect. All right, I'm gonna get back. What time we got here? We running down time here? We're chatty catty. We're running time down. I got things I got to do today, but I need to run a little time down. I love this. I love it. I love it. I'm not done with it yet. We still got to do detail work. That door right there, that little handle. I had to put that little handle on the door. It has a bend in the neck to put that thing together. Little handles and sides right there. Put that all together. All right, I got to get ready. I got which one work to do? Detail work to do with this. You want to come out here and fight your fish? Are you gonna do battle with your fish? You gonna do battle with your fish? Whatever. It gave me that look like, Dad, you're nuts. All right. Oh, by the way, the flower PCs, when we get done with them, right now we're working on our business license, LLC, new website, all that for the flower PCs. Most likely, I was going to make it offline only because we have a lot of offline customers, but it has some online customers. But because now we got these new cube sizes, it makes it easier for me to ship these things. We're looking at the boxing and crating we're going to need to put these things in. Of course, everything's going to be padded, so your stuff doesn't get damaged or messed up. But yeah, these PCs are going to be different designs. Some are going to come with these hypnotic bullfrogs. Some are going to have fairies. Some are going to have man-eating plants. That you're going to have all kinds of speakers built into them. There's going to be some crazy stuff with these things at the end of the day. And some are going to even have an ecosystem, like a cloud lightning system over top of them. We got some crazy stuff we're going to do with these flower PCs. So they're going to be all different assortments of flowers. They're going to be designed around your PC. Especially consider the fact, just imagine if you have a shop that sells flowers and your PC looks like flowers. Tell me how sick that won't be. How sick it will be at the end of the day. That's going to be awesome. So we can't wait. We got a lot of stuff. We got these greenhouses coming up, which I can't say too much about that. But we have greenhouse PCs. I can't tell you about them, but these are going to be some really, really amazing looking PCs. So along with this new technology and engineering, incorporating our PCs and all our stuff into it, we're going to be developing some really crazy stuff. And all of it's going to be super affordable. Now, I know people saw the prices on the ad. They're like, oh, man, it's so expensive. That technology does everything. You understand me? So if any one of these bigger companies got a hold of that tech and you know how much money they would charge for them? $10,000, $20,000, probably a panel for that stuff. That thing does everything. It ain't like you gotta be stuck on your wall with it. You can pull the screen off your wall and take it outside and watch a ball game in the park. That's what you can do with it. And any one of these companies, we sold that technology to them, that screen would cost you thousands of dollars. Very easy. So for the price that it is, it's very, very affordable. All right, even this right here, I think, what's this, like $210 for one of these? And I got to do a demonstration on this because I actually replaced my monitor. Taco, my cat, has my monitor right now. He's about to get a new setup for him, and this is what I use to do work on. I've been using it for about a month, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it so much. I ain't got no lamp, no glare from it. There's no freaking blinding light coming off it because I get headaches all the time with monitors, and it's see-through. Why is my dinosaur on the other side? Doesn't look my dinosaur over there. What? You over here doing yoga. You're a dinosaur. Rah. If you get a Coke, we'll get a Coke bottle behind. I can do the Coke bottles. Stand up. I got a name for you, didn't I? Right there. So pretty soon I'm going to be building a frame for that. This is a frame I'm actually building for it. Has a chase LED system to it, so we're going to build it pretty soon with a frame, get rid of the bottles. But that right there is my PC monitor. I don't ever have to use a monitor ever again. And my whole setup is on a QME 2 projector, that's it. Yep. And I can game off that, watch movies, sports. I did the whole thing on it for 1 month. That thing is absolutely incredible. I freaking love it. And when I get done, guess what I can take with that Surface? If I have a storefront, I can put that in my window with the same projector right over here, do a little advertisement off of it, take it anywhere I want. Well, yesterday, we were supposed to be outside, which I should have went outside when I had the opportunity, because, man, it was freaking cold yesterday, and I still got to be out in the snow. But it's a different type of snow. If you ever had snow where it's warm outside and it's comfortable, yeah, I'm out in that. I'm not being out in that frigid, rigid, cold. You feel like your face is about to crack and fall off your face. No, we're not doing that. But we do have to be out there and show a demonstration of fire purposes. Absolutely marvelous. All right, people, I got to get back to this. Oh, thank you for the support on the build. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming and watching. I do appreciate it. I do. I know in some of my channels, and again, you got to get used to it. It's just who I am at the end of the day. I try to say, you know, we got to keep it on topic. It's just not going to work. I just know I am. I'm going to talk about this. I talk about that. But as long as you get the work done, that's all that matters. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff I do. I get passionate and talk about this and talk about that. Sometimes we talk a little about this, that, and the other. But once we're building it, putting it together, you know what I mean? That's all that matters. So we get it done. All right, let me get back in here. I want to get some trim work. I want to get all this trim work finished because, mind you, we got screens coming in today. So we can finish the 235.1 build because literally we're going to be doing dual back-to-back, I think 108-inch 235.1. So these screens are 9 feet long. These are big screens, 9 feet long. And then once we get all that set up, we'll hook up. We got a ViewSonic projector coming through that does the 235.1. And this is going to ruffle some feathers. Because right out of the box, we know we're going to do with this thing. We're going to put it against gray screens, we're going to put it against white screen. Let's see if that 22,001 contrast or 20,001 contrast works. Can we use 235.1 setup for gray and white screens? Is it the same as our black technologies? We're going to have a lot of fun with this projector when it comes through. All right, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Thank you for popping in. Pretty soon we'll have the 80s style storage set up, the 80s style storage, 80s style arcade. We'll be putting in the mini movie theater, which I'm going to enjoy the most because I'm watching my little movies off there. My little setup in that. Ooh, I can link that to my cell phone too. And our storefront, which will be taken outside and do some demonstrations of that. All right. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed, and God bless. What we got here for